We will start with a couple of the basic fundamentals of motorcycle motion and cornering. There are 5 components to any turn. They are the setup, the approach, turning point, apex, and the exit. The setup is where the racers get into the correct position for the turn. The approach is the distance from the setup point to the turning point. Braking, downshifting, and assuming your body position will be accomplished in this area. The turning point. This is an important visual action point. This is where the racer actually induces a steering input to start the lean and the turn. The apex is the closest point to the inside edge of the track and usually the slowest point of the turn. The exit point is where the bike is brought to straight up and accelerating hard. Here we've added the basic line as shown in red. Notice how the line matches up with the 5 components of the turn. The next concept or fundamental of motorcycle motion is the radius of the turn. Most riders already know that a larger radius, like the one shown here in red, will have a potential of a higher speed than the smaller green circle. Here's an important point about radiuses, because in racing, just like life, there is actually no free lunch. If you gain something, you have to make a trade-off for something else. Even though the larger radius gives us a higher speed potential, there is a downside or a trade-off. The trade-off or downside is distance traveled. Oh no, here comes some math. Hang on, here we go. The math behind it is the circumference of the circle increases faster than the radius. The formula is circumference equals 2 times pi times the radius. In layman's terms, that means for every unit of radius increase, the circumference increases by a factor of 6.28 units. The following is a quick, short stop-motion animation to show this concept. We will assume that both riders are of equal talent and both bikes have identical performance, and both riders are trying to go as fast as they can in their respective circles. As the film runs, you can see the bike in the smaller green circle completes the lap sooner than the rider on the larger red circle. Now, depending on the configuration of the turn, plus what's before or after the turns, sometimes a faster mid-corner speed is beneficial, and sometimes the shorter time and distance through the turn has an advantage. These details we'll cover in more depth in later videos. The next fundamental to look at is acceleration and deceleration. These will affect the racing line. Shown here are 2 examples of changing speed while the riders maintain a fixed lean angle. As you can see, rolling on the throttle a little bit will cause the bike to spiral out, shown in the green line, whereas rolling off the throttle a little bit will cause the line to spiral inward, the red line. Now, using small changes in cornering speed is a simple and a smoother way to widen or tighten up your line instead of making a lot of steering inputs or lean angle changes while leaned over mid-turn. There are 2 ways of changing mid-corner speed. One is a small change in throttle, either up throttle or down throttle slightly. The other is if you're actually using your brakes mid-turn, a small, slight change in the brake lever pressure can change your line by increasing or decreasing the pressure slightly. Just a reminder, when you want to change mid-corner speed to change your line, it is small, smooth changes, not great big handfuls of throttle or brake. Smooth is the key. Another concept of motorcycle motion that is often overlooked is the parabolic curve. Here is a simple parabolic curve drawn in red with the vertex shown in blue. Now, this is just one of several fundamentals of motorcycle motion that is exclusively taught in my class, so you may not hear these from any other source. Here is a small 90-degree section of a parabolic curve. It's shown at 45 degrees before and 45 degrees after the vertex. We will now compare the parabolic curve to a standard 90-degree turn shown here in blue. Here we have superimposed a parabolic curve over a standard line. The curve is shown as a red dashed line. We have also aligned the vertex with the apex of the turn. Notice how it fits over the turn directly. Now the question is, how do you generate a parabolic curve on a race bike? Well, to answer that, we must remember or recall an earlier concept about changing speeds while leaned over in a corner. As shown in this example, if a racer decelerated in the first 45 degrees, shown as a red arrow, and then immediately started to reaccelerate it for the next 45 degrees, the green arrow, the resulting line would look like this example. Now we will take that compound line and draw it onto a 90-degree turn. Next, notice the parabolic curve will fit directly over that acceleration-deceleration line. A few parting thoughts about race lines. Now, yes, the race line is an important technique and a topic to accomplish, but a race line by itself is not the number one end-all die-all technique for good lap times. A race line in and of itself will not make a racer fast. It only gives the racer the potential of going fast. For example, a racer can be on the perfect race line and still be a slug out here. But on the other hand, a racer can be a few feet off the perfect race line and still be competitive. It's the going fast that makes you fast. So you need to have the other techniques and skills mastered also to be able to go fast. Okay, we've been watching the basic fundamentals of motorcycle motion and motorcycle dynamics. We will be applying these fundamentals and dynamics in other videos when we start discussing basic race lines, alternate race lines, riding techniques. So I hope you have picked up some insight to how motorcycles move, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.